Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Alright, this is going to shock you. I've chatted to you many times about this happening. My blood sugar is 14. It's down from 15.8. Now, I know exactly what's happened. My catheter got kinked, and so I'm a little bit higher than normal. Okay, so time in range has really dropped 74%. Now, above is sitting at 20 and below 6%. Average blood sugar is up to 7.9. So you see, you can have bad days. Am I sitting here and worrying about this? No, because I know what the other days of my blood sugar. And no, just because I'm looking at the camera here, I'm starting to grow my mustache back. We'll see how long it goes for. So my top lip is not dirty. Just thought I'd mention that. Today I want to talk to you about record keeping. We'll be right back and we will take a look at record keeping and how it works now and where did we come from. Now I hope you can stick around. I'll be right back and we'll get going on this. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Record keeping. When I first got diabetes, I got a book about that big, and it was all tables in it where you could write down the date. Back then it was urine testing, now it would be blood testing. But you would write down your results 4 times a day, so you would have to, back then, void twice, and then take your reading from the second void. It was a pain in the butt. But you also had to write and you had to record when you were low, what you did about it. And I really honestly didn't know of a diabetic who did this. They may behave themselves, take records in for a week, but that was pretty well it. Then they started asking, well, why is this day different than this day? And a lot of times I didn't know the reasons. I went and I got a binder. And I've talked about this binder before. In it, I made tables and came up with a place to write blood sugars, carb counted, everything, so a doctor could look at it and see 2 days on one page. It worked well. And then finally, I don't really need this. To where we are now, this device, if you have a CGM, allows you to keep your blood sugars within range. It also gives you the information. Now, you can also go and pull up CareLink and see your numbers. Every pump company has a system like this. If you're not on a pump company, you may have to go and you would have to write down information manually, just like diabetics did for years. Now, I honestly think you need to start that way. I really am against people just being diagnosed and getting right on a pump. I think they have to learn how to do a needle, how to do blood test, how to work your way up to it. Because if something happens, you have to know how to give yourself insulin. Just because your pump breaks does not mean that you can forget about it. Oh, well, yeah, they're sending a new pump. It won't be here for a couple of hours. Well, you're going to be in trouble if you don't take care of yourself. We saw what happened to me up to 15, and I don't know why. I was sitting here looking at it going, until I remembered, well, you need to take a look at things. Maybe you need to change your site. And I changed my site and I've started to come down. When they started doing hemoglobin A1C, there was no way that people could estimate what it was. I'm sure there's some math, but I mean, the average diabetic could not work it out. Now, you get an average sugar on here. You would also get, when you pull up the full CareLink report, it gives you the average hemoglobin A1C. Like, this is mind-blowing, the information that you can get off this. Now, if you get a pump and you're not using a sensor, you're pretty well not utilizing all the information that you could be available to. I have to think that people could be open to all this information and yet they don't take a look at it. They don't take a look and say, okay, well, I'm up high. Why am I up high that day? And you really sometimes have to take an inner look. So, keeping your blood sugar well under control is easy to do. Is it? No, it isn't. But these records help. Now I'm just showing you what's on the phone, and this is to make quick decisions on your care. The reports that you can get off the CGM and your laptop, your computer, gives you a more in-depth, the southern drawl coming out again, in-depth result. And you're able to see, okay, this is doing, went out for dinner, let's say, and I went to a pasta restaurant, and I had so much pasta, and I screw up on the carbs. You're going to see how that day differs from a normal day. The nice thing is that you can set up your parameters any way you like. You can do 2 weeks, which I typically do. You could do 3 a month. It gives you so much information, but you have to take a look and utilize the information. When I first got a pump with the ability to look at CareLink, it was really nice. It had the little graph right on the front. I always looked at the number. I didn't really look at the graph. I did not see if I was going down, going up, where I was. Until I woke up and said, I want to start taking care of myself. You don't need to be a diabetic superstar to understand the information. Now, if you're on the Medtronic like I am, you can take a look at CareLink and type in a question, and that's how I really learned what sort of information you need to take a look at. There's also a site on, I have to spell it on my mind, TCOYB, Taking Care of Your Diabetes. I said B at the end, is D. And that in there, they have a video on how to look at these reports as a person. And you really learn so much. Now, sometimes they're utilizing the American system and such, and you may need to take another look at things. Like when they're talking blood values. Because remember, metric here in Canada, standard or imperial in the States. Whether you use a CGM or you're manually writing in a book your blood sugars, just don't gather the information. Utilize the information to improve your care. It's going to be up to you to take care of yourself. Have a super day, and we'll talk later. Bye. My email is mikesdiabetesworld at gmail.com. Mike's Diabetes World at gmail.com.